Right, so this is a player that we talked about on live. I was not expecting to talk about him again so soon.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so if you guys were there for the last live stream, we did talk about Dalton Knecht. I talked with my boy Swish Hill about him briefly. I was not expecting to talk about him again, and I was not expecting to talk about him this soon. But there's some news that came out when it pertains to our boy Dalton here. Now, before we talk about that, if you guys want to support the channel, you can head on over to clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, and get yourself some merch, man. I got many different designs. I got some other ones that I'm working on as well. I got to catch up. I think about 3 orders. I think I'm about 3 orders behind, so I'm catching up on those this week. But if you want to be next in line, please go ahead and get yourself some merch, man. Link in the description, or become a patron, a YouTube member, or just comment anything below, and it helps the algorithm nonetheless. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. So Dalton Knecht is receiving strong pre-draft interest from the Hornets, Blazers, Spurs, Grizzlies, and Jazz. Interesting. Now, what's weird is when I clicked this link, it actually took me to this page, and he's not mentioned on this page whatsoever. So I think he might have accidentally linked the wrong article. But even with that being said, I jumped on Google, tried to find it, tried to search for, this connection to the Spurs. Nothing's really out there yet, I guess. This is just kind of new news. The only thing I found was this article in which this was Javoni basically insinuating that the Spurs should go after Knecht. It was nothing here. It's more opinionated. But he says, having hopefully addressed their point guard position long-term with the pick at number 4, it makes sense for the Spurs to add another elite shooter in Knecht, who shot 40% from 3 and showing dynamic shot-making prowess. Now, with this statement right here, us getting a point guard number 4, at this point, I don't know if that's going to be the case, right? I think that you might have some better players available at number 4. Now, you could potentially go after Stephon Castle, which we already know that he's been very adamant that he doesn't want to go to a team that already has a point guard. So he really believes in his abilities. But when it comes to the Spurs, I guess it just depends, but he's more of a combo. So that could be somebody that you grab. But we already know that they're interested in Darius Garland. We got the news that the Atlanta Hawks could potentially trade both DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. And if that's the case, then they want to blow it up, and they're going to need their picks back, right? So we don't know what direction is going to go in. All I do know is the Spurs are going to be involved in something this season. It will be insane for them not to be involved in something with the amount of cap space, with all of the picks that we have. I mean, we got like 17 picks in 2016. It's absolutely insane. So they can definitely package that and do what they got to do. So just overall, I have no idea what direction we're going to go in, but it should be fun over the course of the next couple weeks to see what comes out. But I'm going to go ahead and take this as face value. I won't take this as a grain of salt because Evan really does, release a lot of good stuff. So let's just say that the Spurs have shown somewhat interest in Knecht. He won't be the only one. There will be many players, right, that we've heard already that they have interest in. Now, what are my thoughts about him? I've talked about him on live stream before. And like I said, I think that he has a lot of bounce. Once he's close to the rim, he's going to get a lot of posters in the NBA. Unfortunately, he's not a very fast player. Defensively, guys get around him pretty quickly. And that's not the best, right? That's not going to be the best. And with us already had Doug McDermott, we might want to, have something that's a little bit different at that position. But nonetheless, if the Spurs are interested in him, I get it. He is, like you said, like that article said, 40%, so 39.7% from 3, 4.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.6 blocks, 0.7 steals, and he averaged 21.7 points. Now, the only thing that I'm a little worried about, because a lot of people talk about how high his floor is, which, I mean, I would expect it to be. And what I'm a little worried about is the fact that he is 23 years old. I think that in this article, Giovanni basically sums this up to like this being a good thing, like saying that, well, the Spurs are ready to make it to the playoffs and be in playoff contention right now rather than later. I mean, it wouldn't be out of character for them to go after somebody a little bit older, right? Like Jabari Rice. But at 8, that's where I'm just like, I don't know if they're going to do that, right? That would be a tough one. That would be a tough one for me. And a lot of teams, it seems, are really going to swing in this draft because the draft isn't that strong. So they might as well just swing on guys who have potential. Knecht, he definitely has potential to be a really great shooter in the NBA, but I don't know how much more he'll be other than that. So there might be some other guys that the Spurs want to swing on. And you know, I really want to know what, you know, you guys think about this. I don't know if you watched any Knecht. Like I said, he's a good sharpshooter. You know, this whole shot making, or he has shot making prowess or dynamic shot making prowess. I suppose, you know, off ball, he's pretty doggone good. I don't know. It's just a weird thing for me with grabbing him. But he does play the right way. He's a smart player. Just defensively, it's a little rough. He's a little slow. Not a great first step. But you know, it doesn't mean you'll be a bad player in the NBA or anything, especially if you put them in the position that you need them in. But I just wonder who's actually going to be available once we get to 8, you know? So those are my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think. Weird. I was not expecting to hear his name right now, but hey, nonetheless, he's right there. Also, keep in mind his last game, he put on a show back at the end of March, 37 points. Shoo, sheesh. It was not his fault they lost. 50% from 3. Whew. He went off. Anyways, sorry. I'll give it to you guys later, man. Bye.